Okay, viewers, you know, sometimes on Raiseway, you know, things could be beyond my level of expertise. So, you know, it's okay sometimes to call in a professional to do some work, as you see here. Okay, viewers, welcome back to Raiseway, and if you're new, thanks for stopping by. Now, if you saw in the beginning of my clips here that I did hire out to get a couple trees cut down. Now, of course, we had some, you know, power lines and some cable lines that were all involved, and you know, I'm just not equipped with that type of equipment, climbing gear, and so forth. So sometimes it's best to use, you know, a professional. But what you can do is try to save yourself money, and that's what Raiseway is all about. Giving you some do-it-yourself projects that you can do yourself comfortably, safely, and still save money at the same time. So I elected to have them cut down the trees, chop them up, and they even mulched up or chipped up all the brush and so forth. But since I like to burn in my fire pit, you know, for you know, barbecue, you know, people come over for bonfires and so forth. You know, I don't burn inside the house, but I use it for outside entertainment, let's say. So I wanted to keep that wood, save it for myself, and it's actually cheaper to keep it. It would have charged me a few $100s more just to haul it away. So let me get at this. Let me show you what you can do, and chop up your own wood. Okay, viewers, so here's the remaining stump that was left in my yard, just to give you an idea of the size of it and so forth, that we had cut. Now, I already chopped this off and split it yesterday, but you can see there was power lines and cable lines involved right here. So that was the idea of having it done professionally and not done it by myself. So let me get back to the backyard, show you what I got remaining here, and we'll go from there. Okay, viewers, and here's the second tree that got cut down. Basically on the property line with my neighbor's trees and so forth, and you can see like the big pieces that was left here and so forth. There was already had stuff like that in the front yard I took care of. Saying that, there's the stack of wood that I split up yesterday with assistance from my spouse and daughter. They helped you know, stack the logs after I split it and so forth. But here's the remaining amount of wood that I have to split up. Okay, so this all needs to be split. All this wood here. Now the smaller pieces I won't split. You know, I could feed them in my fire pit that way and so forth. But most of that needs to be split. So it's always good to have friends. Now you can rent a log splitter if you wanted to, like at Home Depot and so forth. It's not too expensive. But if you have a friend that has one, you know, take them up on the offer, see if you can bring one over. So I do have a friend, he dropped it off, and you know, here's what I'm using. It's a nice, what is it, Troy-Bilt log splitter. Now, what's nice about this log splitter, it lifts up. You separate the pin right there, and you can lift this thing up, and I'll show you that in progress, and it folds down. That way, these bigger pieces that you can't pick up yourself, you can, you know, put them up on the top. You can bring them over, lay it down, and have them split as it is. You know, once I'm done splitting these big ones up, then I'll fold it back down in the position it's in right now and split them up, stack it, and you're good to go. Now, again, to have this done, have them hauled away, you know, it would have been like $300 more just to haul the wood away, you know. I mean, it was that, you know, a little bit more than that just to cut down a tree. You know, they cut it, they drop it, they chip it, but the more you have them move that wood around, the more they're going to charge you. So you want them to touch it as least as possible. Same way with yourself. You know, you don't want to be moving these logs to the splitter. Bring the splitter to the logs, you know. Cut it, touch it as less as possible. And that way, you know, you don't have to move it around so much. So let me fire this bad boy up. I'm going to flip it over, show you how it looks like that and how it operates. And then pretty much clean up this video. Alright viewers, let me show you what you do here. Again, you pull this pin out, and that would activate this. You pull that pin all the way out. You should be able to lift this right up. Again, it's stuck for a second or two, but again, now it's in a horizontal position, or vertical position that is, from the horizontal, and you can bring your logs over and put it down on here. And I'll fire this up in a second, but I wanted to show you, here's the lever. So once you want this splitter piece to come down, the hydraulic mechanism, you push down and you hold it down, and what's nice, you let go, that stops. So it's a nice little safety feature, okay? Just like the directions tell you right here. So you want to go down, you split. You want to come back up, you can. Now what's nice about the backup feature is, you push it up, it stays there. So it's going to go all the way up to the most upright position. And so that's a nice feature you have there too. So let me get it fired up. Put your gloves on and make sure you're gassed up. Always what you want to make sure you do is make sure you're full of gas before you start. That way you don't have to like stop midway through and refill your tank, okay? So I already did that. Let me get this fired up and we'll start splitting. Okay viewers, you pretty much get the idea of that type of cutting up. So I'm going to split the rest of the wood, these longer pieces that are going to be with this going vertical. Once I flip it down and go horizontal, I'll show you how that's going to work. Similar to the same thing, and you're just doing horizontally instead of vertically. Plus it's a little bit more stable that way as well. So hang on, let me get some chopping. Okay viewers, I had to stop and refuel the log splitter and myself, of course, with a bunch of water. So I knocked out a pretty good chunk within that first time frame of that fuel. So I'm gonna carry on, still get these bigger pieces, and would have got more done if I didn't take time to stack some stuff. But hey, it is what it is. So continue on, and I'll show you again once I get all the big pieces done and we put that horizontal and we work it that way and see how it works. So other than that, like I said, good do-it-yourself type of project. Gets you your exercise you may need as well, and all in all, not a bad day. Okay viewers, I got a pretty good dent in it. I want to finish up this episode tonight. I mean, obviously I still have a lot of wood to cut and so forth, but my objective is to show you this down and how you cut wood that way. And I would say, like, pieces of wood like this, you definitely want to do this as it's on the ground like that, because how the wood is split. So you don't want to be doing that up above, and I'll show you later on like that. So things like that, ones with knots in it like that, and obviously these bigger pieces that you shouldn't really be lifting up, and I'll explain that later. But all these other ones here, I should be able to pick up and drop on her okay. I'm not really concerned about these big pieces that's been laying here for like 10 years and such. They'll fall apart just by looking at them, so they're not too much of a worry. But I'll even throw them in the fire at the hole. So let me put this down. Let me show you how easy this is. Well, we'll try to show you how easy it is. Again, it's a pin mechanism right there, and you got the latch like right here, so it will come down and hook in, and it will pop right in this hole right here, that slot. So let me pull this down here. Like I said, I've been using this, been warm, so just pull it down. It'll fall right into position, and it locks right in when it hits that pin. Okay, now some items that for safety reasons, you know, eye protection, make sure you have steel toe shoes on, you know, so you know things fall on you. Gloves, always a plus. Now you got to make sure your work area is clean, and as things break up and stuff, you know, kick stuff away. So some items I want to reference there, you know, and why I think you should do this yourself is because, you know, if you're going to burn it yourself, that's fine. If you had like an in-laws, tree falls down, and like I said, they charge you more money to get rid of it. And so if you chop this up, especially if it's not pine, like this is maple, some people may want to buy it. You know, a face cord could be $60, $80, $100, $120 depending on your area for people to come and get this. So if people burn it in the house though, you have to make sure, you know, it's cut up in a way it's going to fit into their burner. Okay, you don't want no real long pieces. You're talking 14 to 16 inch long pieces that would be split. So you could definitely sell this stuff if you felt the need to. So it's always better to work instead of hauling all your stuff over here. You see the stuff I have to cut is over that way. So it's always best to take your splitter to your work area. Okay, that way you're away from all this stuff. So let me fire this up. I'll show you another key point. Let me show you, I had these pieces set aside for a reason. So, you know, when they cut these big pieces, sometimes they're cut them on the angles like this. And come on over here, let me show you. When you put this in the splitter, you want to make sure you have good point of contact. You know, that's what this is for. You know, this is a good point of contact, so when this comes in and this driver of this the split mechanism, let's say, it hits this, you want to have a good point of contact here so it doesn't spin away. You have something like this on an uneven basis, like you do it like this thing's going to come down and it's going to kick and it's going to fly off and go in the wrong direction, or it could even drive your hand into the mechanism. Okay, so anytime you got something like this, you want to lay it back and have a good point of contact, so when it comes in the splits, you're not worried about it shifting off or being kicked. Okay, also these types of products, like I indicated, this is better to be done on the ground when it was still set up in that fashion, because if you put this thing up here, you pick it up here and you split it, what's going to happen? It's going to fall. I mean, you got these things on here to help protect your splitter, but it's going to fall and land on your toes. That's why you need the steel toe shoes. So anything big like this, you want to, plus you'll save your back. You don't want to be picking it up and putting it on there. So let me fire this up. I'll show you how this works. And when you put them on here, you stand to the side, you're away from the engine. Obviously I just put some gas in there. Safety first. I moved it without putting a lid on her. What do you know about that? Anyways, so we'll fire this up, and this is for typically for logs like this that you would put on there and split. Okay, so just to give you an idea how this is going to work and operate, let me show you, and then we can pretty much end the video at that point, because it's just repetition and stacking. Obviously I threw some stuff there, but we'll have to restack it. But here we go. Make sure it's on. It'll fire right up just by pulling it. Now I may have to put my mic in. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me or not. Okay viewers, so what we got to do, like I said, you got the mechanism run here to engage the splitter, and if you let go, so if your glove, your fingers get stuck, you can stop just by letting go, okay? But always keep your hand away from it. And you see how that penetrated right there? It got good point of contact back here. It's starting to split the wood. And so, once it goes so far, you can stop it. You don't need to drive it all the way through, because the less drive or movement on your splitter, the safer it is, and the quicker you can get your stuff done. So this is already broken off. That's good. So you could do another one. Okay. Again, good point of contact, nice and flat in the back. Even though I got this groove here, you got this other point of contact. It should cut well. There you go. Perfect. So now that's done. Now I'll show you this other log here. Again, you got these round ones. It can be moving around. But again, you want a good point of contact. Drive it in. You keep your hand far away from the device. Splits. Back through. And it's easy as that. So let me get that out of the way. Let me shut the motor off. So again, with a neighbor, a friend, or if you have one yourself, you really probably not even watching this video because you already have it and you know what to do. But renting it's fairly cheap. Having a friend that has one's even cheaper. And again, it's all about doing it yourself, saving yourself some money. Thanks again for checking out my channel. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.